My fiancée ghosted me a week before the wedding. No calls, no explanation, so I sold the ring and canceled everything. Then she showed up crying at my job. Welcome to Whisper Wire, where real Reddit stories breathe. Betrayal cuts deeper. Revenge whispers louder. And love, loss, and justice collide in ways you never forget. Because sometimes, the quietest voice delivers the most powerful truth. I'm 32 male, Matthew. Or I was 32, and about to be a husband. Now, I'm just 32 with a stack of cancellation receipts. It started 8 days ago, a week before the wedding. Lisa, 29, was supposed to meet me. We had a final venue meeting the next morning. Last-minute stuff, table placements, meal counts. She never showed. 7 p.m., texted, no reply. 8 p.m., called. Voicemail, odd. Her phone was usually surgically attached to her hand. 9 p.m., that gut not started. Called again. Voicemail. I called her sister, Ashley. Hadn't heard from her. Called her parents. Same panic. By midnight, I was frantic. Called friends. Drove past her apartment. Dark car gone. This wasn't Lisa. She was a planner and over-communicator. To just vanish. Unthinkable. The next 24 hours were a blur. Hospitals, a missing persons report, surreal. Her family was a wreck. I was torn between terror, something awful had happened, and a creeping dread of a more personal betrayal. Day 3, police found her safe, staying with an old college friend, Sandra, 3 hours away. Relief hit me, then immediately a cold, sharp feeling of what on earth. She was fine and told no one, not me. The police said she wouldn't speak to me. No reason for her departure, just that she was safe and needed space. Needed space. A week before our wedding, my brain just froze. Fear and grief morphed into something icy. No note, no text, no email. After 5 years, after planning a life, after picking out those darn floral centerpieces, silence. So, I started making calls. Venue, lost the $5,000 deposit. Caterer, another $3,500 gone. Photographer sympathetic, but bye-bye. $2,000 florist. My initial deposit for them, DJ cake honeymoon flights, non-refundable resort, each call a hammer tap, chipping away at our future. The financial hit from these deposits I had personally paid or was immediately liable for was significant, around $15. Her parents had paid for her dress separately and were supposed to cover the bulk of the flower costs directly with the florist later. But the initial booking deposit for the flowers had come out of my account. The hardest calls were to family and friends. Weddings off. The shock, the unanswerable questions, humiliating. My mom cried. My dad just kept asking, "Son, what on earth?" I wish I knew. Then the ring, 1.5 carat cushion cut, vintage inspired her dream. Cost me over $13,000. I took it to a reputable jeweler, got $7,800. Less than hoped, more than feared. That money went straight into my account, a partial offset against the $15,000 in direct losses I'd already incurred from non-refundable deposits and commitments. It barely scratched the surface of the financial damage. But it was something. I packed every single thing of hers in my apartment. Photos, clothes, that silly carnival teddy bear, boxed, labeled, ready for her eventual reappearance. It's been 5 days since I found out she was fine. Still no word. Ghosted her own wedding. Ghosted me. The anger is a cold lump, but mostly I feel clear. How do you come back from this? You don't. I'm waiting for the other shoe. People don't do this without a follow-up act. Update. Well, the other shoe didn't just drop. It practically kicked me. Last Tuesday, I'm a project manager for a construction company. Mid-meeting with a client. My colleague Nancy pokes her head in. Matthew, sorry. Visitor says it's urgent. Excuse myself. Annoyed, walked to reception. There she was, Lisa, looking like she'd cried for a week. Puffy eyes, messy hair, a world away from the woman I was supposed to marry. First thought, seriously, here, my workplace. Matthew, she said, voice thick, tried to step forward for a hug. I stepped back. Lisa, what are you doing here? Low voice, Nancy at the desk, suddenly very busy. We need to talk, she whispered, tears well in. Please, it's all been a horrible mistake. A mistake, I said flatly. Ghosting me your family a week before our wedding. Refusing contact. That's a mistake. I know. I freaked out, scared. Sandra said some things. I just panicked. Sandra, her free spirit friend, who always thought Lisa was too good for me, right? So, you ran off. No word for 3 weeks. Didn't know how to face you. Ashamed. Matthew, I still love you. I want to fix this. She reached for my hand. I pulled it away. Fix this. Disbelief. Lisa, there's nothing to fix. It's done. I canceled everything. Wedding's off permanently. Her face crumpled. No, you can't mean that. We can rebook. Tell everyone I had a family emergency. A health scare. Smooth it over. The sheer entitlement was stunning. Smooth it over. Like a spilled drink, not a life detonation. Lisa, I sold the ring. That stopped her. Jaw dropped. You what? Sold it. As I said, I lost over for $15,000 in non-refundable deposits. I personally paid the $7,800 from the ring. Barely made a dent, but it was necessary. You sold my ring. Voice rising. That was my ring. My grandmother setting was the inspiration. How could you? Okay, now anger. Your ring. I bought it for a wedding you abandoned. A symbol of a commitment you spat on. Inspiration doesn't make it an heirloom when I paid. But the money, she sputtered. What about it? I asked calm. It partially covered the venue, caterer, honeymoon. Consequences of your actions which still left me massively out of pocket. She stared. You have to give it to me. That money is partly mine. We were getting married. We're past headeds. No, I don't have to do anything except protect myself from further damage. My boss, Mr. Donaldson, stern but fair, walked out, drawn by her voice, glanced at Lisa, then me, eyebrow raised. Everything all right, Matthew? Personal matter, Mr. Donaldson. Being resolved, I said, giving Lisa a get-out look. Lisa appealed to him. He sold my engagement ring, canceled our wedding without talking to me, she wailed. Mr. Donaldson looked uncomfortable. Ma'am, this is a business, I cut in. Lisa, this is inappropriate. Leave now. But Matthew, our families, the deposits my parents paid. Your parents paid for your dress, which I assume you still have. They were supposed to pay the florist the remaining balance directly, but they hadn't. When I canceled the florist contract, I got stuck with their $1,400 cancellation fee because I made the initial booking. That fee added to my already huge losses. Losses the ring money only fractionally covered. I have receipts for everything. You can discuss those charges with your parents. She looked slapped, ugly, crying now. You're so cruel, cold. I made a mistake. Don't I deserve compassion? Compassion. Ice in my voice. Use that up. Wondering if you were dead in a ditch. Want compassion? Start with an actual apology. An explanation that isn't blaming your friend. And don't cost me at my job demanding money from a ring you forfeited when you fled. Especially when I'm still dealing with the financial fallout you caused, including bills your parents should have paid. I dislike you intensely, she screamed. Colleagues staring, cheeks burned, but resolve hardened. feelings becoming mutual. Security can show you out. She glared venomously, spun, and stormed out, nearly tripping over a plant. Mr. Donaldson. Well, that was a lot. You okay, son? Peachy. But I was shaking, not fear. Audacity. She didn't just want forgiveness. She wanted an eraser, expecting me to foot the bill. Later, her mother, Margaret, called, "Oh, joy! Update." Margaret, Lisa's mom, always concerned with appearances. Polite, but judgmental. Her call a few hours after Lisa's office flame out. "Matthew, dear," she began, fog sweetness dripping. Lisa is beside herself, distraught. "I can imagine," I said dryly. "Screaming in someone's workplace is tiring." Sharp intake of breath. No need for sarcasm. The poor girl made a mistake. A big one, yes. Her father and I are deeply disappointed. But she's realized her error. Wants to make amends. Her amends involved demanding I reinstate a canceled wedding and give her money from a ring I sold to partially cover her mess. A mess that still left me thousands in debt. That's delusion, Margaret. She was upset about the ring naturally, Margaret said, glossing over it. Sentimental value. The design. The design she picked from a catalog. Sentiment was in the commitment she abandoned. Matthew Margaret's voice firmed. This isn't just about feelings. There are considerable costs. We paid for her expensive dress, and we'd given you two a substantial monetary gift for your honeymoon. $5,000. Given the wedding is off by your hand with the cancellations. I almost laughed. Hold on, Margaret. Wedding's off because Lisa vanished, causing me emotional distress and massive financial loss. I canned because the bride was MIA. Your $5,000 gift went into our joint wedding fund spreadsheet. It clearly shows allocation to the non-refundable Maldives resort Lisa insisted on. I have bank statements and payment confirmations. Want them? Silence. Then improper for you to have kept that money. Improper. Quite annoyed now. What's improper is your daughter vanishing, leaving me with pieces and bills. That $5,000 covered 2/3 of the lost honeymoon. I absorbed the rest, plus all other deposits I'd made. The ring money only partly offset my initial losses. It didn't make me whole. Itemizing what? She asked when I mentioned my next step. You and Christopher, her dad, were to pay the florist the outstanding balance of $2,800 directly. Remember? You hadn't. When I had to cancel the entire florist contract because the wedding was off, the florist charged a 50% cancellation fee on that total, which amounted to $1,400. Since I made the initial booking and paid the small deposit, I was legally on the hook for that $1,400 cancellation fee when you didn't pay your share. I had to cover it, adding further to my significant personal losses from this whole fiasco. Outrageous. You're trying to extort us. No, Margaret. Calm, dangerous voice, stating facts. Lisa's actions led to these costs. The ring money only softened the blow of my own direct losses. Your $5,000 gift went to the honeymoon we never took. Now, on top of all that, I also had to cover the florist cancellation fee that arose entirely because you and Christopher didn't fulfill your commitment to the florist before Lisa disappeared. There is no profit for me, only a massive headache and a broken engagement that's cost me a fortune. Sputtering. Lisa said you were cold. She was right after all she's been through. All she's been through. Margaret, what about me? Our families, friends, the worry, canceled plans, embarrassment. She just got scared. Young girls do these things. She's 29, Margaret, not 19. Decent people don't do these things. They communicate, take responsibility. This went on. Astounding entitlement. She genuinely believed because Lisa was sorry. A sorry I hadn't heard meaningfully. All burdens should vanish or be mine. Even suggested I apologize to Lisa for selling her ring and not being understanding at my job. Enough. Margaret, listen, I'm done. I'm sending you, Christopher and Lisa, an itemized list of all wedding-related expenses that I managed or was left financially responsible for. This includes payments I made, deposits I lost, and liabilities I had to cover when others defaulted, like your florist bill. It will clearly show by whom these costs were originally contractually owed or who caused the loss. It will demonstrate that no one's profiting, least of all me, and will clearly state the $1,400 florist bill I covered on your behalf. Reimburse me for that $1,400 or not. Your choice. But further demands or harassment will get a cease and desist from an attorney. Clear? Then quiet. Then eclipsed. You wouldn't dare. Try me. Hung up. Hands shaking. Not pleasant, but rage was a clean fire. They thought they could bully me into paying for Lisa's enormous mistake. Next day, I did it. Meticulous spreadsheet. Every vendor for shared items, every deposit I paid, dates, scanned receipts, highlighted the florist cancellation fee I was forced to cover, attached ring sale proof and how that only partially offset my own initial list of losses. 3 copies, registered mail, return receipt for Lisa, for her parents. Then, the fun. Lisa wasn't just staying with Sandra. After Lisa's office stunt heard via grapevine from NY's venting, Sandra apparently told Lisa to own her stuff or leave. So Lisa was back with her parents. My spreadsheet landed mid-reunion. Text from Ashley, Lisa's sister, days later. Ashley, Matthew, Mom and Dad got your documents. And Lisa WW3 here. Just wanted to say I'm sorry. You didn't deserve it. Replied, thanks, Ashley. Appreciate that. The revenge wasn't vindictive, it was clarity, consequences. They wanted to muddy waters, make me the bad guy. Spreadsheet was my factual weapon. Heard Lisa tried spinning a story to mutual friends about me getting cold feet, being controlling. She had to escape. After her job meltdown, audacity, but my calm explanation, her public meltdown, it contrasted sharply. People talked, not kindly, about her. Her victim narrative backfired, especially when her financial demands leaked, likely via Margaret. Ball-out was simple. Her actions, her consequences, no drama, just paperwork and truth. Still no florist fee reimbursement. Don't expect it. But they know. And they know their demands are baseless, because my documentation clearly shows I was left holding the bag for their portion, too. Small victory update. It's been a while. Life, annoyingly, just keeps going. After I sent that registered mail of financial truth, the initial explosion per Ashley settled in silence. Blessed, golden silence. No more calls from Margaret. No tearful, manipulative ambushes from Lisa. No angry emails from Christopher, her dad, who I always figured was quietly baffled by his family. Anyway, I didn't get the full $1,400 for the florist cancellation. The part her parents should have paid. Knew I wouldn't. Prying money from a self-righteous Margaret. Easier to baptize a cat. The principle was asserted. The spreadsheet detailed my complete financial burden, including covering their lapse. What I did get was a gem from Ashley about a month ago. We'd kept sporadic, cautious contact. Ashley, you are not going to believe this, or maybe you will. Lisa tried to get Mom and Dad to pay for a healing retreat for trauma from the wedding cancellation cost $3. I replied, and did they? Dad actually said, no, flat out. Said her healing could start with getting a job and paying back the deposits they did lose on her dress alterations and a few other bits they prepaid for directly. Things that weren't even on your list of shared financial responsibilities you had to settle. Mom's silent treatment for Dad. Lisa hysterical circus. That right there was better than any $1,400 entitlement hitting a family brick wall. Christopher finding his voice. Good on him. And Ashley's clarification confirmed my spreadsheet correctly, focused on my direct and consequential losses. Lisa, from what Ashley and others say, isn't thriving. Her victim plan crumbled. The workplace stunt made her look unhinged. Her bad-mouthing of me was clumsy, easily refuted. Many former mutuals saw her behavior. Some offered me support, others faded. Understandable. Friendship coals happen. She's apparently still with her parents. Job hunt not going well. Anything she's qualified for is beneath her after her trauma. The world isn't bending to her narrative. The artifact of this mess for me is that spreadsheet saved not for money, but as a reminder, strategy, not just emotion, works. Line in the sand, armed with facts about the financial burdens I was forced to carry. As for me, first month was rough. Not just anger, but sheer bafflement. The why probably never get a satisfying answer. People like that rarely make sense to anyone but themselves. But the clarity from my first post, stuck like a filter removed. See things people more clearly. Sold our couch. Bought a new one just for me. Reclaimed my space. Gym more regularly. Great stress relief. Reconnected with neglected friends. Works good. Mr. Donaldson actually gave a nod of respect after the incident. Handled that like a professional. Matthew, small things matter. Dating, definitely not. Not yet. Trust feels daunting, but not bitter. Trying not to be focusing on myself. Career, friendships, healing. I guess my way. No 3-day retreat needed. Sometimes late at night, a flicker of old hurt, betrayal, the imagined future. But it passes quicker, replaced by quiet satisfaction. Not loud victory, but calm assurance. I handled an impossible situation with dignity, strength. Didn't let her destroy me, my finances, or reputation. She faced consequences, natural ones. No over-the-top revenge, just steady fallout from a terrible choice. That feels more real, more satisfying than any drama. She made her bed. Now she's lying in it with her parents complaining. I'm sleeping just fine. This was Whisper Wire, where silence isn't weakness, it's the ultimate revenge. If this story stayed with you, subscribe and join the journey, because tomorrow's whisper might just become the story of your life.